Peace to the gods and earths. It's your man Nat Busy, aka Nat Burnz, live right here at the God Hour. You heard? Big shout to everybody that's been checking in, catching the last couple of, episodes of us chopping it up, man. Big shout to all the prior guests. Big shout to everybody who checks in on the check-in. Big shout to my man Black Wolf Images for holding down that man-to-man discussion the other day. I think we're going to do the other one this coming Monday. A lot of people been hitting me up saying they want to be a part of it, so I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to just making this world a better place as best I can. Just doing my part, you know what I'm saying? We could talk about a lot of stuff we don't like, but I like to try to focus on the things I do like, and I try to focus on solutions to problems that I see arising in our community. So that's how I address that. But with no further ado, I'd like to get right into the proceedings this evening. Got a good brother I've been wanting to chop it up with for a long time about a lot of different things, but most recently he just wrote a dope book, and I want to talk more about it, you heard? So with no further ado, I'm going to try to get right into the proceedings this evening, see if my man is good to go solo, you know? And that's how we do that. It's a little warm when I start the guard hour for some reason. Peace, though.
Peace, Nat Busy. What's going on, baby? How you doing?
What's going on, King? You like this? You gotta straighten it up. Here we go.
Hold on, that's better.
Salute to you, King. What's going on with you?
I can't call it. Let me see.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's good. I can't call it. How you doing, man?
I'm blessed instead of complaining. Just take a quick second, bro, and introduce yourself to the people and let them know what it is you do.
Well, my name is Nat Busy knows me as Stowe, so that's what he called me. But right now, I'm representing Michael Jarel. That's my author name. That's my pen name, rather. So my name is Michael Jarel. BX, New York, Atlanta, Georgia native. I've been here steadily since 95, 96. So I've been here since the last Freaknik. So I like to say I'm definitely a native of the south side of Atlanta, Georgia, East Point, Georgia to be exact. But yes, as Nat Busy said, man, we're good friends. We've been wanting to build for a minute now. We know each other way back. So our relationship is definitely something that
it wasn't quite
long.
a stick when I
it wasn't. Nah, I was a little younger. That's I let you know how much time. Like, it wasn't quite as great.
And mine wasn't quite as great, right?
Nah.
Yeah, time flies, man.
Definitely.
But I want to talk about the book for sure. But I want people to understand how multifaceted this young man is, because I met this brother as a studio engineer, had a studio in his house that was definitely going head to head with some of the more what you want to call professional studios that I went to. Your engineering skills were impeccable. I went there one night. You had a couple of your homies there recording. He was in and out in the zip. He was lining up the punch-ins real quick. Anybody that records, they know how hard that is to get from an engineer. So at that point, I knew he had a penchant for details. You were a detail-oriented brother. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And has a beautiful family. You know what I mean? And always kept it above board. Always was welcoming. But definitely a serious brother about whatever he delves into. He got the book out, but he also got an ill pen game when it comes to writing bars, concepts for songs. He produces. He do it all, man. I never met, it's not many of you guys that's like you. I hope you understand that, man.
I appreciate that, man. That's blessings. That's blessings. I appreciate that for real. But yeah, like you said, that lane is attention to detail, and it turned into this lane before I could even really see it. But then after I started writing, I was like, this is kind of always what we've been doing, because like even before the engineering, I was the artist as well. So me, I felt like I've always kind of been creating stories anyway. Especially with the type of music that gravitated to us, the type of music that we do. Like a lot of people ask me, like, what's your influences? And I tell them somebody like Big Daddy Kane, or I tell them somebody like Nas or something like that, and they're like, "What? Nah, I mean, like as an author." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's the same thing. Like it is the same thing. The type of energy and work that they put into that and painting those pictures is the same. The only thing they just had rules as far as with the beat and everything. And when I stepped into this lane, I was like, you know what? It ain't no rules." And that really like almost was an epiphany all in itself. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. Now, before we get to the book, I just want people to get a little understanding of who you are and how it was for you leading up to writing this book. Like, what was that journey like from you? Because how old were you when you moved down? I don't want you to date yourself. I'm 49. Let's just put it out there. I ain't scared no more.
Yeah, I don't think I'm in. Look, I'm not in the lane no more where I need to lie about my age.
Yeah, every year is a blessing.
We can
now,
talk about it. Exactly. That'd be great for real.
How old were you when you moved to Atlanta from New York?
When we moved down here, I was like 10 years old.
Wow. So I went through the same thing. I moved to Alabama from New York when I was 11. So how was that for you? How was that transition?
I tell you, for me, it was different just because even through my adolescence until 10, it was kind of a back and forth. Like I would do 2 years up north and then do 2 years down here with my grandmother, because my grandmother is from the South. But all the kids kind of went, up north. And so I would still kind of do 2 years back and forth and stuff like that. But when I finally came down here, I liked it because of the space. Like I felt like it was so much. I had never seen so much fucking grass, like, you know what I'm saying, in my life. I think I was my grandmother stayed out. It's on the south side called Cleveland Avenue. She stayed out there, right? So it's a hospital. Yeah. So it's definitely, it's got its charm, like how we say. But look, so they had like a hospital out there, and they had a field in front of the hospital. And even going to the hospitals in New York, ain't no fucking grass around there. It's just a bigger, building. And so when I seen the yard, I was like, yo, this is a lot of space. And so I appreciated the space in the South and shit like that. For real.
What I'll say, Atlanta is definitely a lot different from Alabama, because for my people, I came up in Alabama, Troy, Alabama, Atlanta is like New York. You know what I'm saying?
That's just the city. Yeah.
So it's a little different. For me, it was hard, man, trying to, get countrified when I come from New York, and that's all I know up until I'm 11. And we went down there on the cold call. I never had visited before. I didn't know.
It's like farm area and shit out there. You're definitely out there. Yeah.
So you think do you think that helped you, or do you think it hampered you in your development as a person moving down?
Definitely help. Definitely help. I think, like with anything, the more exposure you get is always a benefit. Like you ain't never gonna see, hear somebody that said they thought the world was too big, so they didn't learn anything. You know what I'm saying? So I think anytime you're able to, mix with different walks of life, and especially like you said, Atlanta is Atlanta, but it's still Georgia in a lot of regards. You know what I'm saying? So the people are different. The people were nicer. So that was one thing that I kind of learned to let go, is a little bit, New York, we kind of on edge at all times. We don't speak, you know what I'm saying? So when somebody
say
speaks,
what's up, you're like, what's up?
Like, what you mean? Like, like what is up with you? You know what I'm saying? So that became something that you had to get used to. And I think it definitely helped, especially being in the industry like we are in the entertainment industry. You got to be able to be personal. You got to be able to get along with strangers and stuff like that. And so I definitely think it helped me just having that extra exposure to something different.
Yeah, because I know when I got there, everybody considered me a city slicker. So
you're gonna get that.
And then I come back north, they say I'm too nice. So I just say I'm a city slicker with Southern hospitality.
Yeah, I'm definitely a gentleman. I love to say I'm a gentleman. I'm definitely a gentleman. And then, like I said, my grandmother is from the South. She's from Macon, Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And so, and like Slick, she's one of the main, her image is like one of the main likeliness in the book from one of the characters, so her being from the South definitely, it's different. Like the manners are different. Like I'm a yes ma'am, no ma'am, no sir, especially with people that are serving me and shit like that. And so it's definitely something to get used to. But at the same time, when you come down here, you're different. So, you know, it's like you're different. So you're going to stand out and shit like that. So being from New York and then standing out, that's like the opposite of what we wanted to do anyway. So he's like, all right, you got to get used to trying to get that edge off your shoulder. You know what I mean?
For sure, for sure. So now you down in the South, you go to school there, you graduate there, you hang out there, you raising your family there, making some strides, building businesses, and what led you to recording, like, because you ill with the engineering, man. Did you go to school for that?
No, actually I didn't. I looked into it, but I've always been kind of calculated with anything I do. So if I didn't have to do it, then I wasn't gonna waste money on it. And like I kind of did my research as far as the engineering end, and just found out that it's not really worth it, going to money. I'm not saying it's not worth it. If you ain't got nothing else to do, if you want to learn a trade or something like that, do that. But there's other avenues that you can take to kind of get good on engineering, especially if you got an ear for it anyway. But I started mainly out of necessity because I wanted to record myself, and I felt like I got a little bit of an ego on me at times, and so I felt like,
you a Taurus? You a Taurus, bro?
Nah, I'm a Libra.
Oh,
I'm a Libra.
I didn't know that stuff.
Yeah, that's a
good
one. Yeah. But look, so I got to look that up now, air in the water and shit. But anyway, so I did it because I wanted to record myself, and I was like, yo, I'm dope. I don't feel like I should pay nobody to want to record me. I feel like you should want to build off of me, or not build off of me, but build with each other. And it's a mutual thing there. So I just kind of learned to do it myself, just to kind of cut out the middleman and keep the money myself. And then when I have other friends that would want to record and shit like that, I was like, come on, they're recording, just kind of with practice, got better and better at it, and turned into a business.
That's dope. So now you doing the music, and you was dope, and the whole crew was dope, man.
Dope. I'm still dope.
You still are. It don't go away, man. It don't go away, man. And I would implore anybody to look up his catalog, man. It's Golden Palace Entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Look up the catalog, check them out, man. These are some good brothers, man, doing some good things, man. And I met you through the good brother Finney. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Finney. And I met Finney through this Puerto Rican kid that had a little situation. Finney was interning for him at one time. Pardon me if I forgot your name, King, but I met him through my brother Oz. So that's how this world is so small. Me and Oz go back to the military, and we both from New York too. So small world led me to you. And I just been watching you over the years, developing your craft and pushing other artists and doing a lot of things. And then I see you got this book called The Great Cotton Heist.
Yeah.
So
let me plug.
The Great Cotton Heist. Now I downloaded it off Amazon. I'm still waiting for my physical signed copy.
That's all right.
I'm saying that I could put in my library and all that.
Yeah, we're gonna get it to you. We're gonna get it to you. I'm waiting on the copies now. Amazon is holding my hand right now with the pandemic, but we're gonna get it. We're gonna
take your time and hurry up, bro. It's all
I got
good.
it. Exactly.
But I read like the first page, but I'm really gonna have to get it.
Yeah, you gotta get into it. Yeah.
So if you could give us a synopsis of what this book is about.
Gotcha. All right. So the book, the main character is a dude named Seth, right? Seth is this genius, inventor, engineer, philanthropist, humanitarian. He's just all around kind of good guy.
White or black?
He's black.
Okay.
He's a black guy. Yes, he's a black guy, right? So
he's Seth a black guy. Throw you off,
Yeah, Seth. Yeah, and that's it was a purpose for it. Like you're gonna read it and you're gonna see it. But Seth, okay, so genius guy. And one day, this tragedy happens, and he loses somebody he's very he loves very much, right? And so he's very distraught over this, and he comes up with this plan to get what he lost back, right? And kind of going through the motions of the plan, it's not really working the way he anticipated it to work or whatever. It seems like fate just kind of continues to intervene in everything he's doing. And so he stumbles upon this grander solution to the problem when he actually, spends some time with it and gets deeper at the root of the problem. We see the sometimes we see the symptoms, but we don't see what's causing the symptoms. You know what I'm saying? So he runs into this big this big plan, and the book is basically him going through with the plan. And we see at the end whether or not we're able to change things. And like when I say everything could change with what he's doing, I mean everything that we know of in this country could be a totally different thing if what he's trying to do goes through. And so the book goes through that. It's about 7 really main characters that we follow that kind of help pull the story along. And like I was saying, the very root of the story is based in love, man, and just kind of doing what you absolutely can for those you love, and everybody is kind of driven by a different love for something that kind of helps push the story along. You know what I'm saying? So it's a short read, but it's something that's
I don't know, the book look
really
kind of thick
sticks with
though, man.
I thought it was super thick until I got it printed out, because this like you said, me, this is my first book, and so navigating through the whole publishing format and how everything comes together, it looked like it was gonna be like dumb long to me. It was like I don't know if this is gonna be too long. Niggas is gonna think it's some Harry Potter, type thick thing. They ain't gonna give it.
But then when I got it, though.
Yeah, the next one. The next one is definitely going to be super thick. And so I think at the end of it, it really it's one of those cultural things I think could be like dynamite. Like I think it could be culturally really influential, to people. So it's a short story, The Great Cotton Heist, man. Seth, it's a couple other surprises in there about little Easter eggs, as the kids call them, about Stowe. Who Stowe is outside of Michael Jarel. So it's a good read. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I can't wait to dig deeper into it, man. You got some accolades here in the comments. So everybody's saying it's a great book. It's a good read.
Hey, Mia.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, sis. Thank you.
So that means the check cleared. Nah,
yeah. But she family. She don't get paid. She family. She don't get paid.
Nah, man, but peace to the God, Shabazz, man. Definitely, man. The Great Cotton Heist, man. It's a good brother right here, Shabazz. Shabazz is a good brother.
Good read, Shabazz.
Yeah. Now I'm a little bit jealous though. You feel me?
Why is that?
Because when I met you, I never heard you talking nothing about writing a book.
I didn't know nothing about writing a book.
But by that time, I'm about 5 chapters into a book I've been writing since
Facts.
5 years before I probably met
really?
you. Really? So I just want to know, homie to homie, like, where did you find the time, the patience, and the lack of distractions to actually scribe this book? And what was your process?
It's funny how much I hear that. I hear people saying the same thing. Like, I had this idea and stuff like that. And I've kind of always been that way. But you know me, I was on a different angle. I wanted to create these storylines that I had in my head musically. I wanted to do a video that I thought the concept would be dope, or I wanted to bring in some kind of some kind of other artistic shit. Like, even if you look at a lot of my my album covers and mixtape covers and stuff like that, they're usually not of me. I didn't take pictures of me to people. People told me, and so I was always kind of out there thinking or whatever. But I don't know. Oh no, I do. The exact fucking moment, the exact spark was I was watching Straight Outta Compton, right? Okay. I'm watching Straight Outta Compton, and this was the part in the movie where bitch, I can smoke.
You can do this. You in your house, man.
I appreciate it.
yeah.
But look, I'm a gentleman. I told you I'm a gentleman first. So I'm gonna ask you.
You in your house, though, my
But listen. Okay. But look, it's your thing, man. I gotta,
Yeah, nah. But, we real here, man.
But look, I knew the wine was good. Shout out the wine. Black Girl Magic.
Relax,
shout out the wine. Look, I knew the wine was good. I was like,
we're gonna talk about this process. That was funny though.
Yo, okay, so look, and I ain't even spoke a lot.
Straight out of
So
Compton, you watching the movie.
straight out of Compton, I'm watching the movie, right? It was the part in the movie after, like, Q was already feeling a certain type of way, and I guess, and he was, going to venture off and do his thing, and he's in the back of the bus, right? He's in the back of the bus, and he writing, and they was like, "What you writing?" I don't even know if they asked him, but like the camera pulls over, and it's Friday. The title says Friday, and I was like, you could do that shit. Like that shit just hey Roxy, that shit just like really popped in my head. Like you could do that. Like it's nothing stopping you from doing that. And so I dabbled around with a couple ideas, and then I was having a studio session with Finney and his wife, and we was Shout Styles, and we were smoking. And I ran down the ideas to them, and she, was like, "Yo, that one is dope. Like, that's a good idea." And so I just kind of started with how I wanted everything to go, the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
I started with the beginning and the end. Then I did all that on paper. I had a notebook, and I just kind of was, filling in the blanks as to how I wanted the storyline to go to that middle, and then how I wanted to go to the end. And then after all that, I just kind of put the dialogue in there. And I just kind of, I had the time, because I started now. It didn't just happen. I kept it to myself for a long time, yes. But, I started October 2019. So it's been a minute before I did nothing. I just kind of kept it low and didn't really tell nobody. And so I just kind of just been building from there, and then God willing, it was able to come together in a pretty dope, I believe, and so here we are.
No doubt. And again, you mentioned Finney, man. Big shout out to Finney, man.
Big shout out to
Finney is the type of dude, whatever idea you got, he's definitely gonna give you that encouragement and try to find some avenues to make it happen with you or for you or just support you, man. And
definitely.
You're blessed to have a support system like that, man, with the homeboys. Because a lot of us got homeboys, you say, "Yo, man, I'm writing this book." Word about what? It's the Great Cotton Heist. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Listen. That's why I didn't tell nobody, bitch. Like when I said I kept it to myself, that's why. Because I was, and some people felt, kind of shut out, like, "Oh, why you only tell me?" Like, but I felt that same way, because like a lot of times people would put, their limitations on you, what they think they can't do, or what's not possible, for them to do, you can't do it. And so they'll breed that, like, in that little shit, like you might kind of brush it off, but you do brush that off 20 times or something like that, and then it becomes is it, you know what I'm saying? Is it really not? And so I really didn't tell nobody until, I told a couple people, but I just kind of, kept it to heart. I didn't put on social media, this is coming up or nothing like that. Cause like the same thing. And then, when people hear you writing a book, the first thing they think about is like a self-help or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But, or they would figure,
nonfiction.
Or nonfiction, anything nonfiction, because fiction, we don't think for whatever reason we can do fiction. We think it's only like a fucking, it's a Spielberg. I mean, it's not Spielberg. It's the, these others that can create these otherworldly ideas, and it's not like,
and all this.
Exactly. But it's not like, so we sometimes limit each other and don't even know it, like, or they get into well, I wouldn't do this, or I say I want to do a book about some shit in space, or this and that, but it's going to be on some shit from our perspective, but just in space, they might not be able to see that far. You know what I'm saying? And so, they start to, shut you out. So I kind of kept it low for that specific reason, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But isn't it ill to you a little bit that you've been doing music for so long? And I know you got some, notoriety from it. And, you probably got some support from the homies, while doing music, right?
Yeah.
But isn't it ill how you write this book and now it seems, or does it seem like you're getting more support now that the book is finished versus when you were doing music?
Yes, definitely. I text my brother a couple of days later. I was like, "Yo, I sold more fucking books in 3 days than I sold mixtapes in 9 years." Like,
Wow.
for real, because that's just to me, it's blowing my. To be honest, it's kind of blowing my fucking mind, because I didn't really think you know what I'm saying, it would be in that avenue. Because I told you, I think I fought back and forth between even releasing it as myself or on some ghost writer, you know, hey, listen, this book is pretty dope, you know what I'm saying, and thinking it would get loved that way, just because I felt like sometimes people see you in a certain lane, and so, you know, when you want to step out that lane, they either going to take their thoughts and their prejudices about what lane you're in and move into that lane. And that's why, like, I felt like it wasn't going to be so grand of a response, but it has been. And so I'm definitely blessed and appreciating the response on it. And it ain't really even like just, and to me, it ain't purchases. Purchases to me don't mean shit. Like, purchases to me don't mean shit. Like, you know, it's a lot of people that bought a lot of bullshit. Like, you can buy bullshit anytime, but people are really like, yo, that's a good book. Like, fuck, this your first book. Fuck, you know what I'm saying? This is, you're a rapper, you know, you came from this lane or this work. Nah, niggas is like, yo, that's a good book. That's a good story. That's dope. And so I appreciate that more than anything, you know?
Yeah. And that's a good thing. If you look at it, man, like you were saying, people would have probably had criticisms, but the fact that you would even think about that, you have to question yourself and say, why am I even thinking about that?
Yeah, definitely.
Why am I thinking about what somebody is probably not going to like anyway?
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? I got a lot of homies that do music, right? And one homie in particular, he always talking about the haters, man. You know, these haters don't want to see us do this. They don't want to see us do that. And I'm like, who are they?
Yeah, exactly.
He be like, you know them type that be like this and they be like that. And I'm saying, but where are they? Because we've been making music for a while. Every time we play music for somebody, they say it's dope.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell me how many people have told you it was whack and you can't do this and you can't do that.
Yeah.
And when they get the name, it's probably not even 3 people.
And you know what it is? And maybe it's just our generation. Well, not our generation, but it's the newer generation. As far as it's the like generation. You know what I'm saying? It's the numbers, because I can see how many people like this shit. I can see how many plays this shit got. I can see this and that, and especially with, you know, we're not necessarily, as far as with the music industry, people ain't necessarily jumping off at the parties no more. You know what I'm saying? They jumping off the web. And so when you jumping up off the web, but your numbers ain't moving, it's just like that. That ain't good enough. Type, especially when you putting energy into it. You know, when you feel like I'm putting energy into this, and we know, as far as music, that can be a lot of money. Like, you know what I'm saying? That could be a lot of energy, a lot of money, a lot of time and stuff like that. And so I think when you come from that numbers industry, you have to, you are kind of trained to think analytically and not on the vibes that you create. You know what I'm saying? When you do, like, yo, listen, like I said, I've never played a record for somebody and they was like, no, I don't like it. You know what I'm saying? Even when I'm asking, you know, for advice, it's like, oh, this is cool, or I don't like this part, or maybe this part, or whatever it is. But it's always, you know, and that's what I always kind of did the music for, until I started trying to do it professionally. You know what I'm saying? When I tried to do it professionally, then it became like I said, I'm a Libra, so maybe that's why the scales. That's right, the scales, right? So that's why, you know, because I'm like, it's taking too much time, energy. Time we don't get back. You know what I'm saying? Energy we don't get back. And so for me to be putting all this out and not seeing those numbers click after a while, that shit started to get to me. And so, you know,
but there's 2 words that lend itself to that, and that's the instant gratification.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm an Aquarius, so we all in the same vein. Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, air sign too. So my friends call me Dr. Dre because I ain't never happy with a track. I recorded in your studio, shit, that's what, 6 years ago now?
Yeah.
Maybe more than that. It's about 7 years ago I was at your studio when I recorded the joint Man Up.
Yeah, I feel like my son was like maybe 2 years old, so yeah.
Yeah, I think that was like 14, because I left there in like 15. You know what I'm saying? And that track has never seen the light of day, even though everybody I ever played it for say it's hot. But I set it up right. I wanted to be this. I wanted to get the right look. And now I have to ask myself, now that I've gotten a little older and I look at things a little differently, I say, why did it even matter what anybody else would have thought if I myself had already validated it? You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. I mean, that's definitely some, you know, artists I think struggle with, and maybe because in that that same vein that we are artists, and so you know we are usually sensitive about our work. What's Erica Badu said?
Yeah,
Now keep
yeah,
in mind I'm an artist, you know, so I'm
yeah.
sensitive about my shit. So watch, you know, watch him out. And so I think as an artist we definitely get into those lanes. Like speaking to Finney all through this. Speaking to Finney, he'll tell you like I'm usually behind the board and I'm not moving and until I think it's right. You know what I'm saying? And then putting it out and stuff like that. And so sometimes I think we, you know, get into our own space of perfection as well as thinking it's hot. Because if it was just about you in your head thinking I want people to think it's hot, the first time you heard somebody say it was hot, you would have been like, bet it's out. Let me put it out.
Yeah.
But it's just not for you yet. It's just not for you. So it's more you valuing what you think is hot over what the general, you know what I'm saying, public may think is hot. And I think as an artist, that's dope.
But even if you break it down like that, man, sometimes you'll see that you did yourself the biggest disservice than anybody because
Leaving it on
there's
the
a
shelf,
counterpart
definitely.
to you.
Yeah.
There's that dude, you know, because when I first got to Atlanta, you know, some of the stuff that was on the radio, you know, and I don't have no judgment of anybody in particular. You know what I mean? Because people's art is their art. You know, somebody could draw a stick figure. Some of that Basquiat stuff, I'm not impressed with. And it sells for a lot of money. So who am I? You understand what I'm saying? Like, they just look like stick figures sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I got to Atlanta and rap had changed, that's when the Young Thugs and the
it's totally different.
You know, those different dudes was coming in. Migos era was coming in, and I didn't understand that. You know, you know, all the different like, yo, what's going on here?
Yeah,
you
it's a different generation.
But when they played that music for somebody and that person said I liked it, they didn't even hesitate. They went straight to press. They went straight to shoot the video. They took pictures, and now they popping. They got their own rap snaps. You know what I'm saying?
You definitely got to get out your own way in that regard. You definitely got to get out your own way in that regard and kind of do that. And I've kind of learned that with the book as well, just because I wanted everything to be perfect. Like I wanted a bunch of, you know, things that were kind of grand and thought, you know, and so I was like, well, let me get the story out in this other, because I want to be able to do this and then throw the play, you know, be ready to shoot the play and, you know, find people to do this.
You got bigger,
you know what I'm saying? So this is just to get the story out. And that's what that's a whole nother thing. Like I teach my son, these stories are $1 billion ideas and you got to treat them like that. You know what I'm saying? They're $1 billion ideas because you look at it like it's just a book, but that's a whole universe you just fucking created. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother universe where you can, you know what I'm saying, do whatever. You got certain laws as far as with your audience that you want to, you know, stay with. But as far as that, like you can kind of do whatever. And so, but I actually had a conversation with one of my friends and she was like, well, don't do it until you got the story out there, but don't do, don't build too fast when you can't stand. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, well, let's get it moving. So there's definitely ways where we, you know, hold ourselves back as artists sometimes and don't let that goal come out there. But the thing with music is, especially the music you make, Biz, the shit is timeless, and so you can still throw it out there. Like, so we,
it's
funny.
We
definitely got a project coming. We definitely got a project coming.
For sure, man. But what's funny about that too is like you said, you were doing music all this time thinking that's the way you're gonna break through to society and people gonna hear what you have to say. Yeah. And it's a glass wall, but you thinking something's stopping you for whatever reason. I put it out here, they ain't getting the likes, it ain't getting the traction. This other person is popping. They then took an idea that was similar to mine. Now I got to go back to the drawing board. All this other stuff. But then you switch lanes and you write a book, right? Yeah. People feeling you for the book. You'll be surprised what they'll do and going back to listening to what you was doing outside of that.
Yeah, the other shit.
Because that's what's happening to me. Like, I was doing music forever on the low. You know what I mean? And then the pandemic hit, and me and my man is having a conversation. We decide, look, we want to invite other brothers to the conversation. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even so much about the sisters or anybody else. It was just us wanting to talk to each other. So we're gonna say we're gonna build at the guard hour, and
Yeah.
what we're doing now, right? And now that people are building with me on this and hearing, hearing the conversation, the intellect, and all of that, I've been getting way more response for some music
you
that's
get more
been coming
streams
out.
and shit. Yeah, yeah.
And some of them rhymes ain't new rhymes. They the
You
rhymes
know,
that I was writing way back then.
and that's why I said it's specifically about you is like the shit you make is timeless, and so it's always going to be well received for people who appreciate timeless music and stuff like that, and not um, just one flash in the pan or what they say type of music.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like I'm not gonna record no new music. Like I feel like the whole all that was just kind of like that was just the lesson, that was the learning, that was the the edge, sharpening the pen for something different. Like what they say, tell God your plans or something like that. How did it go?
The fastest way to make God laugh is to
tell us your plans. You know what I'm saying? So you think
God
it's
is like, a rapper, right?
Yeah. So you think it's one thing, and it's just, you know what I'm saying, just kind of building you for something bigger. And I really feel like I'm in a position to really take this thing as far as it can go, and that's my plan. So
yeah, I mean, it's a zenith for you, man, because
yeah.
For me, I'm a few years older than you. So like I said, when I met you, I was probably not much younger. I'm probably older than you are now, probably, man. I don't even.
Nah, all the way now.
I'm like I just said, I'm 49, man.
You
know what I mean?
Nah, you wasn't. Well, shit.
That was 7 years ago.
Well, yeah, I'm not 40 yet.
Yeah, so you ain't even there. So, man, it's funny to watch y'all dudes, man, who I pretty much watch grow up. You know what I mean?
Right.
Either from when I first met y'all and y'all were a little bit more. Well, you always had a discipline about you because I think you had the responsibility. Even when I met you, you had the wife, you had the kid.
That's true.
Then you had another kid. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. How many children you got now?
I was about to say then another one.
Then
3?
Another one. Yeah,
I got 3 boys.
And I saw that happen pretty fast. You had the little one when I met you, and your wife had another one, and then now you had the baby. So even amongst your peer group, I saw you was a little bit more advanced. Like you had the studio running, kept a nice home, man. Nice.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Not nothing I was working with when I was your age. You know what I'm saying? Like when we was your age, it was like I wasn't even thinking on that level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could always see you a little ahead of the crowd a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I even when I saw you doing your music was ahead of its. It wasn't really ahead of its time so much because it was still in the same vein of what was out.
Yeah.
But you were more intricate than what people.
And you can tell. Yeah, you can tell it's more put in for that.
You was presenting it to.
And that's like I've always said, like if I was born in a different era, maybe rap would have been that thing for me. You know what I'm saying? Because the other doors wouldn't even have been open. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have been. They wouldn't be trying to hear, what I'm about to do. You know what I'm saying? So they like you. It's funny how you feel so strongly about something in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But then looking back, like you can see. What it was for, like what the purpose and shit was for, and so like
we sound like
that's how I look at it.
That's been divorced. You know what I mean?
No,
they felt it in the. I've been there twice, man.
Yeah.
In the moment, you like,
exactly. And like what they said, with age comes wisdom, and that is one thing. I would definitely say I have kind of. Prided myself in. I always kind of moved, like you said, on a wiser note than, I felt like my peers did, because I seen it. Like my brother, I got an older brother, Cakes, what up? He was the knucklehead. You know what I'm saying? And so I was able to
see what not.
There's some people got to touch the stove and be like, that shit was hot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then another nigga be like, that nigga just touched the stove and he burned his stove, so I'm not gonna touch that stove. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of me. I didn't. I still got in trouble because I think a lot of times it's just part of adolescence. You get in certain troubles and whatever. So I definitely got in trouble, but I was always you know what I'm saying, thinking of or trying to think of something bigger. Like I said, even when I came down here, just seeing the space, it kind of triggered something like, yo, it's a big world out there. It's a big world, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I try not to think with temporary, I try not to make decisions on temporary emotions, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt. I dig it. I could dig it. Now, I know you said there wasn't many influences you had when you decided to write this book, but I did see you sitting behind a library, in front of a library of yours, and I saw a lot of familiar authors. Rest in peace to the great Eric Jerome Dickey.
Rest in peace.
You know what I'm saying? Definitely. Were you into his catalog? Had you read any of his works?
Not so much. I think I've read like the early stuff that like everybody reads and stuff when you're first being introduced to him, but not as of recently, honestly. My wife does, and so like she's kept it in there. I'm more so influenced by movies, to be honest, than books. And like I said, I feel like the book is kind of the avenue right now to get that, because like if you think about all the dope ass shows and movies that you see, a lot of times it's based on so and so novel book. You know what I'm saying? So it's a check on it, and so I want to be that. Like I want to be based on this and take it up there. So I'm influenced by like movies and stuff like that. Like I looked the young lady up today, and I don't even remember her name. Wash, I think her name is.
And what does she do?
She's a writer. She's a writer, producer, movie producer, and she's Black. And seeing her and seeing like Jordan Peele and people like that, and even to be honest, seeing people like I said, like Cube, like taking it way back, you got to give Cube a lot of respect, because for him to come out of a different lane, to come from NWA to letting you make and produce movies on the level that he has done and is doing, and a good story.
But I think Cube is somebody almost, I can hear the mentorship in you. First, I just thought it was the light skin and the beard thing, but I can see the mentorship in it with Cube, because I don't think nobody let him do nothing. He just was going to do what he was determined to do, even NWA at that time.
Exactly.
That's my era. And they thought he was just absolutely bonkers to do that. And it's crazy because he went to my hometown, which is Hempstead, Long Island, and recorded that America's Most Wanted album with Chuck D and them in the Bronx Squad, Hank Shockley and all them. Classic record. You know what I mean? Put him in a whole nother stratosphere.
Whole nother, yeah.
And then the next time you see him, he's in Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? And he's doing this and doing that. So with you saying you got the further aspirations for this book, I'm just saying, hold me a little part in there. I'm gonna get my acting skills on. Because you ain't the type that's gonna wait. You know what I'm saying?
I got you. Nah, we definitely gonna wait till we can get it done right. Like we definitely gonna wait till we get it done right. But I'm bringing everybody.
Yeah. But I remember when you wanted to shoot videos. You know what I'm saying? You went and took a class so you could rent the cam. You could get the cameras.
If I can do it, like I said, if I can do it and not have to spend the money on it, like I feel like I know exactly what I want to create. So I wanted to be able to have a hand in kind of like every angle with it. But at the same time, that became a hindrance for me as well, because you got your hand in so many different pots. You know what I'm saying? You can't you ain't got the time to do all that. So that definitely had to go.
I'm good with writing rhymes. I never wanted to be an engineer, like how you can write a rhyme, you can make the beat to it and engineer it.
Yeah.
I don't do all of that. I just rhyme really as best I can, and then the engineer do it as best he can, the producer do the best he can.
Yeah. So we're a group.
Like I just sometimes that's just me. That's why I admire people like yourself that can wear those different hats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it.
Word up, man.
I mean, necessity is a motherfucker.
But the play aspect of it may come a little easier than the movie, right?
Definitely. And so that was the climb for me. The climb was book, play, movie. You know what I'm saying? Or even if it's we'll work that out. But book and then play was definitely the next play, if that makes sense. And especially because I think it's something that we haven't seen in a while. Like we haven't seen like a play. I don't know, like when's the last time except for
I mean, ever since Madea, you know, Madea became a movie star.
And I was gonna say Owl Play, but your boy Hannibal, not Hannibal, well, what's his name that does the thing on Broadway? You know, they had the huge production thing on Broadway. Hamilton, yeah, not Hannibal. Hamilton,
that was dope. So the Spanish kid.
Yeah. So that was definitely was definitely dope for us, and that was us. That was definitely a representation of color too. But as far as something set the way this is going to be set in the setting is set, we haven't seen it like in a while, and I definitely think it's something that people would be able to relate to really fast, and definitely it's one of those things where the play on the crowd would be crazy, you know, as far as different parts of the book, you know, because they bring shit out you, like you're gonna be in there like, you know, cursing at certain parts, and you're gonna be in there fearful and tearful at other parts, you know, and so that in a play aspect. Now, you know, COVID being COVID is you know, definitely going to be, you know, some time, but we got time for that. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully,
man, you could do some smaller venues.
Yeah. Hopefully,
keep the social distance and all of that good stuff.
Yeah, you know. So we what's name? Now, or even film the play, filming the play, and then selling.
That's how Tyler got paid. That's how
exactly.
Yeah.
And so that was my thought, like right now with COVID, but at the same time, you know, like you like you said, you know me, so I'm trying to wait. What we doing? I'm running, you know, I'm trying to run, and so I gotta learn to, you know, kind of sit back and relax and let it bake before, so I'm letting it bake, definitely, but I'm definitely appreciating the response from the book though, so that's dope.
For sure, man. Yeah, I wanted to touch on too, man. As far as with books, because I read a lot of books, man, and stuff like that. You ever thought about doing a soundtrack to the book?
That would be cool. That would definitely be dope. I definitely want to do a lot of different visual things with the book, because like I said, you know, that's where I'm going. So I want you already to be able to, you know, picture these people. So and that was like part of the grandiose things I had, you know, in store that I had to kind of you know, taper down in order to get it out. Like a friend of mine, St. Bree, shout out to St. Bree if he's watching. He asked me a big question when I was doing the book. He was like, "You got to ask yourself, what are you doing? Like, are you making a novel? You making a graphic novel? You making like a manga? Because you know, I read Japanese anime, so
my son probably get along into that.
Definitely, yeah. So you know, that's something I got on from old kung fu movies, and people sometimes they don't, especially old head New Yorkers. I don't know why y'all act like that's just some new shit. But I thought about that the other day. I was like, yo, niggas think that's like some new shit. But the old school kung fu flicks and shit, that's what threw me into the.
But I think we just liked it when it was that. You know, the cartoon aspect of it, I think is what
it's cartoon. Yeah. I think at that, especially at that time, cartoons were coming out and seen that specifically for kids and shit like that.
Yo, my son is so deep into it, man. Mars Million, just so y'all know, this is my son. And all that. He get on my nerves sometimes. But he's so deep into that culture that he sings the songs they call J-pop. He can sing them in that language. You know how you go to you see people in concert, and they're singing the words word for word in English. He can do that in their language, and I ask him what he's saying. He don't really know. But
he don't know. Nah, he don't know.
That's crazy.
It's a couple of words, but it's definitely you know, that's a whole nother life. Like especially with like the big convention events and stuff they have, Comic-Con and you know, things of that nature.
Man,
like my son is into it. He's more of a researcher though. Like he's a big brain, so he wants to he'll kind of read up on everything about the shit and then come back and then tell you. I'll tell him shit that I watch. You know, they show microwave. They don't even want to watch. They just want to read the synopsis of everything and just kind of know what happened without even going through
super cliff notes.
Yeah. I was like, yo, you gotta watch it and actually, you know, get into it. But so he'll do it on that aspect of it and stuff. But yeah, man, that's definitely a different, whole different world. Like that's a whole different world.
it's just crazy what your brain can do for you, man, if you
Yeah,
allow it to, man. And I'm big this year on manifesting things. You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
And what I would manifest, you know, on your behalf is this being a New York Times bestseller.
Man, I
You know what I'm
appreciate it.
saying? We should run it up on the Amazon bestseller list. You know what I mean?
Run it up.
It's the Great Cotton Heist. Now, I did want to address something in that title, because cotton, with me being a black African American with the roots from Alabama, that's a trigger for us when we cotton and slavery is like synonymous.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Only thing between cotton is either cotton candy or picking cotton.
So let me ask you this. Bitch, before you even ask me that question. What are you thinking when you hear that? When you hear, because it was purposely thrown out there. So when you hear it, what do you think?
My mind, because I'm older, I automatically go to Cotton Comes to Harlem. You ever saw that movie?
No, I know about it though. I can't say.
If you got the fire stick and you got the little thing,
Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Cotton Comes to Harlem. It was a 1970 something exploitation movie about these bales of cotton that was going to be coming to Harlem, and it was a whole big thing. I might watch it again right after this.
Word.
It was a dope movie, but it put me in the mind of that, like the Great Cotton Heist, like, because we know cotton was the cash cow and the textile that built this whole country, and the reason why it ain't reparations, it's back pay that we're owed.
My God.
We owe back pay. It's different. We start talking reparations, that's even more money. You know
that was the thought. Like we having like. And it's funny because when I was preparing for this, I was trying to, think of all this intellectual shit to say, and I'm gonna say,
talking to your man,
exactly. But like one of the questions, of course, I asked myself is, what is the inspiration for the book, and that's where the thought came from. Now the thought was reparations, and that was the theme. So it's crazy that you said, and like I said, like when you talk about manifesting shit, man, it's just the universe is like really like aligned with me right now, and I'm definitely appreciative of it. But reparations was the thought. Like that was the thought, and it was like you said, it was like that ain't a check. Like it ain't reparations to give me money that that's my fucking money. You know what I'm saying? Like, how you gonna give me my money back? You know what I'm saying? Like that ain't a check. So that ain't reparations that people would want, because they know that's gonna come right back. We don't own shit. So it's going to come right back to them in some way, shape, or form. So that's not reparation. So that's what my thought was. My thought was like, what's the reparations or whatever? And then that was the spark, and it just went somewhere I wouldn't have dreamed it going. It wouldn't have gone. But I would be definitely lost if I didn't say my brother, rest in peace, Boots, rest in peace. He had passed, right? And so that's where the name Seth comes from. That's where his name was Seth. Yeah, his name was Seth. Yeah, always. Yes, exactly. And so and like one of the pages on there is the tribute page, in which I dedicate the book, to my family and to him. And so him passing, it became this is gonna be the character. This is the thought. Reparations was the thought. How can we make this make sense and make it entertaining and shit, right? And so, Great Cotton Heist, man. And like you said, like you hit it on the head when you think of Cotton Heist. If you thinking, what I'm saying, you're thinking that's what built America.
Cotton, or somebody decided to I don't know. I can't wait to. And and I did this with a dude that. Some people that I interview that make music or write books or do whatever, a lot of times they want to know. They want to know, did you read my book before you talk to me? And I'm like, I don't want to. Because if I do, I may come into this conversation with a preconceived notion of who you are based off what I read. I would rather talk to you and get to know you as a person. Now when I read your book, I got some perspective on who you are. And how far that book goes. You know what I'm saying?
You know what I would also say is, like you hear I'm telling it, I'm not really telling you the story, because I feel like to me, like the worst thing you can do to me is tell me the end of a story that I'm really interested in. You know what I'm saying? Because like you fucked up everything. Yeah, like you fucked up everything. Because I get caught up in stories, and I'm all for a dope story. And so in promoting it, like I've been wanting to say such and such to engage people to know like, yo, no, this is it's a dope story. Like, you know, this is what it's about. Thinking, but I don't want to spoil it for people at all. So just trust when I say it's a dope ass story, and when you read it, you're gonna start. Like you said, you might come up with this preconceived notion of this is what it's gonna be about, but I'm telling you, it's gonna go left and it's gonna go up and down. Boy.
Now before we get out of here, let's talk a little shop. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You my homeboy. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely,
I know you a long time. I know you the type to take the bale and hay and the duct tape, and you could put something together. You push this brother out of plane with some duct tape and some wire, he gonna have a parachute for you at the ground.
At the ground.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I know you do a lot of things yourself, but do you have a literary agent or anybody like that, a team helping you push this to the masses right now?
No, not a huge team other than just family and reviews from family. Of course, you know, when I was just checking on the story, the editing and stuff like that, I sent it to you know my peoples to check me out and everything like that. But as far as you know, promoting the book, no, I'm not. You know, I don't have a contract with no promoter or nothing like that about the book and everything. So it just organically has been, you know, doing well, and I'm definitely appreciative of that. But if anybody sees it and knows where we can take it, and like I said, a thought is $1 billion idea. You know,
yeah, this is why we here, man. This is always a live and learn situation.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
If there's anybody out there that's connected in that type of way that may be on here now, see this later, come across it, you know somebody, help a brother out, man. Because like I said, man, I want to see you start here on the God Hour, but I'd be reveling in you know, seeing you on Oprah's stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be dope.
On a Super Soul Sunday or something. You know what I mean?
Look, God willing, man, and it's one of those things that I feel like through word of mouth we can definitely get there. Like, you know, I'm in Georgia, Tyler Perry down the street.
For sure.
You know,
he needs some good subject material.
And he needs some good subject material. So y'all can at him, definitely at him, and get it there, because I definitely would love to partner up with somebody who looks like me and would represent our interests with something like this. Definitely. So I'm welcoming any kind of help and advancement we can get that makes sense for us. You know, definitely. So I appreciate it.
And I just want to say, man, a lot of people want to put that Lil in front of their name and hip hop and stuff like that. You got Lil this, Lil that. Let's make the Lil stand for leadership and literacy, and lead our people back to being more literate.
Yeah.
Because illiteracy has put a lot of money in a lot of people's pocket, but it don't come back to the community the way it should.
Fact.
So if we could get people back to a little, when I read, it's better than a movie because I get to draw.
You paint it yourself. You paint it yourself, and this is definitely for people with an imagination to paint it out. Because I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's crazy. And on that note, though, the dopest shit I've seen so far is my son and my little cousin have been inspired to write shit. My son got like 5 little books ready to go. Like that. This is that. You know, and my little cousin, shout out Tina, her son, he was like, who? My cousin wrote this? Like, so my picture on the back, he wrote this? He created this shit? Because sometimes that's all it takes is just to be like, that shit is possible. You know what I'm saying? It's not just basketball, or it's not just
are there any other authors in your family?
Cool. No.
See, so you set a trend.
There's no other authors in my circumference.
Yeah. Like my baby sister just got a PhD. She's a professor at a university. You know what I'm saying? I tell my son all the time, I didn't grow up with an aunt that was a PhD and was a professor. That was not an aspiration that I really could cling to in a real sense.
Yeah,
now it should be that much easier for you. You know what I'm saying? So I love what you did, man. I love what you're doing, man. Salute to you. Salute to the wife. Salute to your kids, man. I implore everybody, go get this book. It's The Great Cotton Heist.
Great Cotton
Heist.
It's
by my man Michael Jarel, who we affectionately call the Stowe, and that's
Stowe
not
Key.
Stowe. That's like store.
That's
But
like
because
Stowe,
he was
corner
in Atlanta,
It's a Stowe.
we call it the Stowe. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely a Stowe.
Get that book, The Great Cotton Heist.
Great Cotton
Please,
Heist.
ladies and gentlemen.
Great Cotton Heist.
Let's watch his Amazon
dope
numbers
book.
go up a little bit, man.
I appreciate
copped it. I'm still waiting for my
Now we gotta get a
honorary
signature.
copy.
Yes, I got you.
Yeah,
As soon as they come in,
nice
I'm getting them signed.
Yeah, man. I got a few friends that have written books, but I'm ancient.
For real?
So you were the only one of the first young guys I see.
Word.
A lot of these young people, man, let's salute these young people because they fearless, man.
Yes,
they're doing things and they're escaping these generational curses the right way, a lot of them. So as much as we rag on them, let's always salute them and applaud them. Yo, here are your flowers before Valentine's Day.
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Before, you know, the end of it all and Stowe, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I appreciate you, Ken.
I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
No
Hey,
doubt.
listen. And above all, I appreciate and recognize what's going on with you and the God Hour and the work you've been putting on. And we know it came out of something that was real ugly, like the pandemic, but you know, we still able to bring a lot of light, you know what I'm saying, into a lot of people's homes. Because you like, you think about it, you fucking going directly into people's homes, you know, like
you just
said.
asked me if you could smoke.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't know if I can smoke, you know, like, yo, can I smoke my shit? But yeah, so that's, I mean, that's definitely dope. And for you to come out from, you know, being behind the mic and shit into in front of the camera is definitely, you know what I'm saying, take some getting used to, but you definitely doing your thing, man. You definitely consistent. And you know, we appreciate you know, the energy you putting out there, brother, for real.
Salute, King. I appreciate you, man. And thanks to everybody on the check-in, man. People supporting you, Stowe, man. You got a good support system here, man.
Hey, Yanni.
So keep riding with it and keep riding with it. Anything you need, I could do, King. It's already done, man. You ain't even got to ask. Just tell me.
Man, I appreciate it. You know that goes both ways, man. You know that goes both ways. Let me know.
Super solid, man.
The God Hour, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for all the love. Thank you.
No doubt, man. Y'all have a good night. Peace.
All right. Peace.